This wheel of Baal is essentially what my channel is about. This Saturnian polar configuration. Now, you may or may not have heard of this ancient Roman poet, Ovid, but I'm going to play about 4 minutes of audio from one of his books because he's talking about life in the Golden Age and how springtime was the only season and how the stars were initially hidden and everything was great and peaceful until Saturn was cast out. Let's have a listen.
Above the turbulent lower air, the Creator imposed the weightless, translucent ether, untainted by earthly pollution. Nature had hardly been settled within its separate compartments when stars, which had long been hidden inside the welter of chaos, began to explode with light all over the vault of the heavens. And lest any part of the world should be wanting its own living creatures, the floor of heaven was richly inlaid with the stars and the planets. The waves of the sea were assigned as the realm of the glinting fishes, the earth was the home of the beasts, and the yielding air of the birds. Yet a holier living creature, more able to think high thoughts, which could hold dominion over the rest, was still to be found. So man came into the world. Maybe the great artificer made him of seed divine in a plan for a better universe. Maybe the earth that was freshly formed and newly divorced from the heavenly ether retained some seeds of its kindred element. Earth, which Prometheus, the son of Iapetus, sprinkled with raindrops and molded into the likeness of gods who govern the universe. Where other animals walk on all fours and look to the ground, man was given a towering head and commanded to stand erect with his face uplifted to gaze on the stars of heaven. Thus clay, so lately no more than a crude and formless substance, was metamorphosed to assume the strange new figure of man. First to be born was the Golden Age. Of its own free will, without laws or enforcement, it did what was right and trust prevailed. Punishment held no terrors. No threatening edicts were published in tablets of bronze. Secure, with none to defend them, the crowd never pleaded or cowered in fear in front of their stern-faced judges. No pine tree had yet been felled from its home on the mountains and come down into the flowing waves for journeys to lands afar. Mortals were careful and never forsook the shores of their homeland. No cities were yet ringed round with deep, precipitous earthworks. Long, straight trumpets and curved bronze horns never summoned to battle. Swords were not carried, nor helmets worn, no need for armies, but nations were free to practice the gentle arts of peace. The earth was equally free and at rest, untouched by the hoe, unscathed by the plowshare, supplying all needs from its natural resources. Content to enjoy the food that required no painful producing, men simply gathered arbutus fruit and mountain strawberries, coronal cherries and blackberries plucked from the prickly bramble. Acorns, too, which they found at the foot of the spreading oak tree. Spring was the only season. Flowers, which had never been planted, were kissed into life by the warming breath of the gentle zephyrs. And soon the earth, untilled by the plow, was yielding her fruits, and without renewal, the fields grew white with the swelling corn blades. Rivers of milk and rivers of nectar flowed in abundance, and yellow honey distilled like dew from the leaves of the ilex. When Saturn was cast into murky Tartarus, Jupiter seized the throne of the universe. Now there followed the age of silver, meaner than gold, but higher in value than tawny bronze. Gentle spring was no longer allowed to continue unbroken. The king of the gods divided the year into 4 new seasons: summer, changeable autumn, winter, and only a short spring. The sky, for the first time, burned and glowed with a dry white heat, and the blasts of the wild winds froze the rain into hanging icicles. People now took shelter in houses. Their homes hitherto had been caves, dense thickets or brushwood fastened together with bark.
this ancient Roman love poet, Ovid, was also a truther, 2,000 years closer to these events than us today. I'm going to leave a link if you want to keep listening. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.